Nature and culture have always influenced each other. People draw on the Earth's resources for their well-being and for inspiration, and they leave an imprint behind. We are changing our environment and altering its capacity to support our ways of life. Today, the growing scale and complexity of the connections between people and their environments pose new challenges for science. How do we make sense of the complexity? How do we deal with uncertainties?
Meaningful mitigation action.
How do we address the concerns of citizens and leaders? Complex problems, tight interactions, and a growing urgency for sustainable development challenge the sciences to find creative approaches for global change research.
The VU University has a long tradition in excellent research on environmental and sustainability issues. We were the first Dutch university to create an environmental institute 40 years ago. Now, more than 200 VU researchers from the faculties of Earth and Life Sciences, Social Sciences, and Economics and Business Administration will join forces to create a new and broader institute, the Amsterdam Global Change Institute.
The Amsterdam Global Change Institute unites scientific excellence with societal impact. When it comes to global change and sustainability, we want to do groundbreaking research and raise a strong voice in societal and policy arenas in Europe and internationally. The Amsterdam Global Change Institute is an interdisciplinary institute. In 6 research programs, we bridge research agendas from the natural and the social sciences with the aim of opening up innovative lines of research.
Industries emerge, cities grow, landscapes change, catastrophes happen. Changes across the globe are connected.
The metaphor of the spaceship Earth is old, but has maybe never been more to the point than in these days, where distances get shorter and resources scarce. How do patterns of land and resource use emerge? And how exactly do they influence ecosystems and their performances? With our answers, we want to support intelligent approaches in resource management. Space surely is one of the most basic resources we have.
Water is another one.
Water is life, and there is an intimate connection between water cycles, vegetation, land use change, and climate.
But what is the exact relation between these factors and the feedback processes? Can we predict current and future climate? And importantly, can we predict sudden and dramatic changes that may happen? To reduce the impact of current climate change and adapt to future, we need to go further. The Amsterdam Global Change Institute takes on that challenge.
Visible shifts are one facet of global change. The less tangible changes may be equally dramatic. Humans and ecosystems are exposed to an increasing number of chemicals.
Combinations of these chemicals can produce toxic effects in people, plants, and animals, or build up with long-term consequences causing health risks and changes in genetic codes.
At the Amsterdam Global Change Institute, we identify emerging pollutants, analyze their toxic impacts, and assess their risks using genomics-based approaches. We urgently need information on exposure pathways and effects in humans and the environment. Analysis in this field is true detective work.
So is ecological research. We can learn a lot about interconnectedness and adaptation when looking closely at species diversity.
The Amsterdam Global Change Institute widens the perspective from the interplay of genes, cells, and organisms within ecosystems to the interaction between people and ecosystems.
Ecosystems render a whole lot of services. Assessing them is vital if we want to continue enjoying them.
Ecosystems can adapt, but their long-term resilience depends on radical changes in the use of environmental resources and services.
Transition and sustainability. You cannot mention a shift in energy or food production without getting the question, how much does it cost?
Business as usual is not an option. Green utopia isn't either. To develop realistic response strategies to global change, we have to consider its economic dimension.
At the Amsterdam Global Change Institute, we assess present vulnerabilities and future risks. We do cost-benefit analyses and we develop sustainability indicators. Financial and welfare implications are at the heart of any political negotiations, whether they concern consumer choices, renewable resource use, or global environmental governance.
Politics is who gets what, when, and how. In an era of individualization and globalization, these questions are more difficult to answer than ever.
Questions of norms and of power, as well as issues of justice and allocation, they have to be negotiated across continents and diverse political cultures. Important political interests are at stake when it comes to environmental problems and global climate change.
Ideas in politics have real impacts for environmental governance. With the problems the world faces, political science can contribute to effective institutions being put into practice.
Global environmental governance, the adaptation to Earth system transformation, and the limitation of its worst effects are key challenges for policymakers at all levels. Social science is indispensable today in sharpening awareness and in advancing the transition to sustainability.
The Amsterdam Global Change Institute pools the expertise of renowned scientists here at the FU in a range of interdisciplinary projects. From this innovative network institute, we are not only able to reach decision makers. With our integrated approach, we will also be a highly visible and competitive player among international research networks.
The Amsterdam Global Change Institute promotes in an outstanding way the VU University's core concerns. Firstly, the training of young scientists. Secondly, the stimulation of research within a broad spectrum of disciplines. And thirdly and finally, the dissemination of knowledge in society.
Science has always served human development. Now sciences are needed to help solve global dilemmas. How do we reconcile a good life with a safe and vital environment? The Amsterdam Global Change Institute, integrating knowledge for sustainable societal choices.